statement that you were dismayed with the, I believe, $14 trillion budget in Washington from this country.
The national debt. It's on the books.
That debt was assumed from the previous administration for the past 8 years. And
go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, sure.
So we can't really place blame on the current administration. So wouldn't it behoove both parties to be nonpartisan and work together for the good of the American people and put our heads together and work on solving the budget as opposed to buying heads and fighting over it?
Yeah. But if you
give me
miss,
some comments on that.
sure. Because when I said $14 trillion, I don't think I didn't blame President Obama. It's a long-term creation. Not just in 8 years, it's been going on. We have been spending recklessly down in Washington, D.C. Democrat, Republicans. The entitlement philosophy of our federal government, it started in the 30s and the 40s, when you really look at how government has expanded historically. And that has thrown deficits on an annual basis that is causing a national security threat when you get to the level of $14 trillion on the book debt. You put on there also the unfunded liabilities that aren't accounted for. You're talking, I've seen numbers of 40 trillion, I've seen 50 trillion, 60 trillion. No one is really having the conversation that needs to be had, in my opinion, and that is focusing on the debt and getting it under control once and for all. I'm not here tonight to blame anybody. I am angry with my prior leaders on both sides of the aisles because what they've done is jeopardize the American way of life for this young man right over there. And that's what I'm sick and tired of. And I don't care who's to blame for it. We're going forward because if we don't change the philosophy, if we don't recognize the threat that this poses to America, there is no America tomorrow. I firmly believe that. And I'm all for solutions. I don't care who creates them. I don't care if it comes from, somebody outside the nation. I don't care. Just as long as those solutions are put on the table, they are implemented, and it corrects the problem. That's all I care about.
In your view, what are some of the things Congress might do to bring back manufacturing jobs in this country?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we need to get the debt and the spending under control because that national debt keeps expanding and putting that tax burden onto our private sector and our private endeavors. One thing that we definitely have to take a hard look at is we have free trade agreements, but my concern right now is they're not being enforced because a lot of people hold debt that we have trading partners with and trading agreements with that we're afraid to go toe-to-toe with because of that, what do you want to call it, debtor-creditor relationship that we're in. And what we have to do is say, hey, that's a separate issue. You signed an agreement, we're going to the World Trade Organization, and we have committed wholeheartedly to using every tool at our disposal with the internet, the spotlights that are out there to say, if there's an infraction, I want to know about it, and I'll be the first one to throw the light on it because that has to be enforced. So I think that's a step in the right direction. And overall, just getting the spending under control. And also, get government out of the way. I mean, the regulations that come out of D.C. and out of the state, as a small business owner, I sit there, I look at income and expense statements, and I've talked to so many, with 64,000 miles on the car, I have been educated so much by people, by small business owners, that are just like Tom. One guy in Victor, he's just like, this is a third generational family business. All we want to do is sell janitorial supplies. But I got to spend 2 days out of my week filling out payroll records, OSHA statements, this, and he went through it all. He's like, all I want to do is sell my wares. That's what's happening. The regulatory big government mentality has to stop and get out of the way and unleash the private sector. And the other problem that I see is we are going more and more to a public sector-based economy. When I read the USA Today about 3 weeks ago, and I see the average public sector employee salary is about $100,000, and the private sector average salary is about $60,000. Don't quote me on the numbers. I don't know if those are exactly correct. That's backwards. That is backwards. We are a private individual nation, and we have to unleash the private sector to get us out of here and get us stable again. And that's what we're going to do with D.C.